And welcome to the City of Rockford's Health and Human Services special event. No, not really. But actually, we are just going to take some time to walk through the Emergency Rental Assistance Program application. I am Anquinette Parham, the Executive Director of Health and Human Services, and I have Angie Walker here with me today, who is one of our pros in the neighborly system and is working very well with residents in our community to get their assistance. But before we get to that, I just want to take the time to let all of you know a little more information about the Community Action Agency here. So the City of Rockford's Health and Human Services Department is the Community Action Agency for both Winnebago and Boone counties. So in that role, what that actually means is that we are part of a national network of poverty fighting organizations throughout the country that has been in existence for nearly 60 years. Community Action was enacted under President Johnson's administration to be a poverty fighting network around the country. So community action agencies are located in all 50 states, and we engage in a number of services to help folks mitigate poverty in their lives. So this includes rental assistance programs. These include LIHEAP and other energy assistance programs. Many community action agencies also run Head Start programs in their communities, which we do here in Rockford as well. And a number of other resources, including helping folks get access to educational and job training opportunities, as well as other forms of community and economic development. So again, our goal is really to help fight and mitigate the effects of poverty for individuals throughout our community. So to that end, we have partnered with Winnebago County government in order to be able to provide this emergency rental assistance program to our constituents. These are funds that came directly from the U.S. Treasury Department, and they were funded to communities that have more than 200,000 residents in their population. So since Winnebago County fit that bill, the county was able to receive that funding, and the City of Rockford Health and Human Services Department stepped up to partner with them and administer these programs. So we're happy to be able to provide this service to income eligible folks in our community. And the opening of the portal actually happened back in April. So we took our first round of applications in April. Now we are into our second round of applications. So we wanted to take some time to walk through this process so that folks could see it. And we'll also address some of the key issues or mistakes that we've seen in that first round of applications to help you all make sure that you're completing the applications correctly. So with that, I will hand it over to Angie.
Hello, everybody. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, and I think there it is. So in order to get started, what you'll want to do is go to your browser. We do suggest you use Google Chrome if you have that available, but go ahead and go up into your search bar and you will type in renthelp.wincoil.us. You'll see that up on the screen right now. So once you do that, it will take you right to the screen that I have on my screen right now. And what you do when you get here is you're going to go ahead and scroll down to where it says first time applicants. And you are going to click here as it tells you. It's going to then take you to a system called Neighborly. Since you are a new person, you're going to go ahead and go to register. I've already been in the system, so I'm actually going to register as somebody else right now. So you go ahead and you put in your email address. So you type that in its entirety, and you're going to re-enter your email address just to make sure it was accurate. You can pretty much use any email that you have, a Gmail, a Yahoo, a Hotmail, whatever it is you have. You're going to enter your first name. your last name, you are going to create a password for the system. So enter a password. And then you're going to hit enter. And then you will get a screen that says an email has been sent to your email address that you provided. So you're going to then want to go ahead and click on your email. You'll see you received an email from Winnebago County. You will go ahead and click on that. And then it's going to tell you welcome back and click here to log in.
So Angie, I do just want to reiterate that email is definitely required. So there's no way around accessing the system and even starting an application if you don't have an email address. So I know previously a lot of our marketing has reflected that so that folks know some of the places they can go to establish free email. You just mentioned those again, Gmail accounts, Hotmail, Outlook. There's tons of options for free email, but email is required to start this process at all.
Yes, you have to have email. We do communicate with the tenants and the landlords through email. And obviously the whole application setup, as you'll see here, is also email based. So once you get entered and submit an application, once we review it, we actually send you emails that'll tell you if we need more information from you, if you're missing something, if you're approved, if you're denied. All of that is going to be sent to you through your email. So you definitely do need to have one. Again, we don't care which one. You can pick any email system that you want, but you do have to have one. So the next thing you'll see once you log back in is it's going to give you two choices. It's going to say tenant assistance or landlord assistance. So you're going to pick whichever one is you. For today's purposes, we are going to go through the tenant application. But if you are a landlord, this is the exact same place you would have to go. You would just choose the landlord option. But today we're going to pick a new application for a tenant. Please provide a name for the application. What I recommend you do is do your last name, comma, first name. It really doesn't matter how you do it, but I would put your name there. That's a good way to start. I'm actually not going to use my name and confuse it in the system. I'm going to use test case. That's what my application is going to be named. So once you put in a name, you'll see that you have all these choices along the side. And also it'll say click here to continue. So once you click here, it's going to take you directly into the application. So you'll see that you are doing a Winnebago County Emergency Rental Assistance application. This first page here that you'll see is a program overview. It tells you what the criteria for the program is and also what the income guidelines are. We do have to have people who are below the income guidelines that are posted on here. If your income is over these amounts, unfortunately, we will have to deny your application. But this is what you start with. You want to read through that. You're going to hit complete and continue to go on to the next page. This is, again, some eligibility information, so it's pretty simple. It's going to ask, is your household income below 80%? And again, it's yes or no. If you answer no to any of these questions, there is a very good chance that you are not qualified for the program. So at that point, you would probably want to see, kind of check your information, double check your income, double check what's going on. If you do all of this and find out that you have no's and you're not eligible, you would probably just want to stop your application right there. If you still feel you're eligible, continue on. So I'm just going to hit yes on everything. And then I am going to complete and continue. And that's going to move me on to the next screen. The applicant information, I'm sorry, that would be where you put your name, your address, all of your basic information, and your email address. Make sure to include your email address here. Again, this is how we communicate with you. I'm going to hurry up and add some stuff in here. Primary applicant is the head of the household and probably the person applying for the assistance. Home address. If you have another adult co-head of household, this is where their information would go. I'm just going to say I'm a single person at this point. I'm going to put in an phone number. Email address was whatever I used to log in with. Oops. Emergency contact. And is there anybody currently receiving unemployment? And I'm going to say yes on that one. And then I'm going to complete and continue. Household members. You have to actually go to click here to add household members. The primary household member should be the person that put themselves as the head of the household. So you do have to enter yourself here again. So you would start here. Oops. Last name and just fill in all the blanks. I'm going to put a birth date. You do have to enter your social security number here, but it will be hidden after you enter it. And then if you do have an employer, you would click right here and enter your employment in. I'm going to actually go back and say to remove it because I said that I'm receiving unemployment. So I'm not going to add an employer for myself, but if you do have one, you would add this at this point. Demographics, again, I'm myself. You add race, ethnicity, gender. And then under that, it's going to ask you if you want to add household members. If you have children, if you have a spouse, if you have a roommate, if you have anyone else living in your household, this is where you enter them. So I'm going to enter a family member. First name, last name, birth date, and social. Okay, they're not employed. Again, I'm going to make this a child. And then I would fill in all the boxes. It's very important to fill in everything. And then hit complete and continue. Must be marked unemployed. Okay. Oops. I skipped a box. I'm going to go back up to where I put my information at. And I'm going to check here if not employed. So I'm going to check here to say I don't have an employer. So if the person you are filling in information for is not employed, you will click the boxes to say that they do not have employers. And then, oh geez. Okay, we're going to just skip on from that. If you don't fill in the boxes, it is going to give you red marks, so you'll know you missed something. Okay. Thought we already did this. I didn't save it. Okay. Don't mind me.
So is that a reminder to save at each?
That is a reminder to save after each thing, because apparently I did not do that. Okay, so I'm going to just hurry up and put some information in here. We're going to check not employed. We learned our lesson last time. And I guess I'm just going to fill in everything this time because it didn't like that I left things blank. And then I'm going to add my household member.
I also want to just take a moment and remind everyone while you're filling these boxes in that, again, the information that we're requesting as part of the application is not because we just want to know. This is the information that we are required to provide and report on back to the government with regards to how the funds were distributed and how we determine eligibility for folks. So this criteria was established for us by the Treasury Department. They passed these things down. We're not any more restrictive than what the government has essentially instructed us that we have to be. So these are not things that we came up with at the city of Rockford or we came up with at the county. These are the instructions that were given to us and how we needed to run the program.
Okay. So this time I'm going to go ahead and hit the save button.
Good deal.
It's going to tell us the data has been saved. And then I'm going to complete and continue. So when I hit complete and continue, it's going to take me on to the next screen. Household asset verifications is the next thing. So they want to know if you have a bank account, a savings account, a checking account, if you have any, there's a whole bunch of choices, IRAs, CDs, life insurance, pensions, annuities, real estate, any type of assets. They want to know if you have any of these items.
Now, I do have a question here. If someone does not have a bank account, are they allowed to proceed with the application?
Yes. They can go ahead and select the option of no assets. And what they will want to say is they will want to put an NA in these other boxes. And I think it does actually say that in the directions. So if you're doing this and kind of forget, go ahead and look in the directions. It does tell you what to do. So on this one, I am going to go ahead and put the NA, but the important thing to remember is if you do have a bank statement, if you have a checking account, savings account, which is what most people do have, you would go ahead and choose your checking account. You would type in a bank name. So I'm going to say PNC. I'm going to say I have $100 in my account. It's a checking. I don't have any interest rate. And then what you will have to do is go to this little blue thing that says upload file. And you'll have to click on that. And you're going to have to upload copies of your bank statement for us because we do have to have that verification for the Treasury. So I've just made some test pages, but go ahead and if you can do online bank statements, you can save them right to your desktop or onto your phone, whichever device you're using. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick this. And you'll see that now I have a document uploaded. So if you're doing bank statements, we do ask that you add your 2 most recent bank statements to this. So you would just upload both of them right here. Again, if you have some other type of asset, you would put verification of that there as well. If you get a pension, an annuity, anything like that, you would just upload the documentation right here. And then you're gonna hit save. And go ahead and complete and continue and move on to the next screen. So this next screen is for income. So now we're going to ask you how much household income you have. There are 2 things you can do here. The first way to certify your income is to use your 2020 federal income tax returns. So if you have filed taxes for 2020, you can go ahead and click this document or this button here. They want to know what your adjusted annual income from 2020 was. So on most tax returns, if you use a regular 1040, that would be line number 11. So you're gonna go to whatever line 11 says and make sure that that is your adjusted annual income. And you're gonna enter that amount right here. So if my income was $23,500, I'm gonna enter that in the box. And then again, I'm gonna go down here, I'm gonna click 2020 tax return. And then I'm gonna hit the upload file. And again, I'm going to upload my tax returns. I have a pretty generic paper I'm just uploading every time just to show you guys. But that's exactly what you would do. You would upload your tax returns here, put the amount in, save. And then you'll notice, again, you have your complete and continue button. So you'll hit that and move on. Now, going back to the income verification, if you do not have your taxes, you can actually select this other option. I do not have my 2020 federal tax returns, and I will certify my household annual income by documenting each household member's income source. So that means if you receive unemployment, we need verification of your unemployment benefits. If you receive disability, we need your award letter. If you receive income from work, we need copies of your check stubs. And we really would like the past 60 days worth of your income uploaded That way we're able to accurately estimate what your income is and figure out what your annual income would be. So 60 days worth of income is what we're looking at. If it's the same every month, you know, that 30-day amount is fine too. If you get SSI, for example, Social Security, disability, anything like that, that's the same amount every month, just your award letter that shows your monthly payment is perfectly fine. And that's really it on that paper or on that document. So I'm going to move on to the next section. It's the COVID-19 impact.
I'm going to ask a quick question before you do that. Sure. So if people have problems or don't upload the documents correctly, what happens?
Generally, they'll receive an email telling them that we need some other verification or that they uploaded the wrong information. We've gotten some weird ones where people have just completely uploaded things that are not even relevant to this at all. So we ask that you try to be kind of diligent and just find the right stuff. If we're asking for bank statements, please upload bank statements. If we need proof of your income, we need something that actually shows your income. And that is any type of income that you have. If you have a job, like I mentioned, if you get child support, if you get disability, if you get TANF, public assistance from public aid, cash assistance, basically any type of income you get, if it's money that comes into your household on a monthly basis or whatever, weekly basis, we want that accounted for. We have to have you giving us all of your income sources. So that's really important. Sometimes people don't necessarily think of child support as income, but it is. It's money coming into your household, and we do have to account for all sources. So please upload everything you have.
Okay. So if people do not upload all their documents, they get an email saying that something is missing. But ultimately, I think everyone should realize that when you don't upload the documents, it only prolongs the process. So it just takes even longer for your application to either be approved or denied, but to be fully processed. And it's delaying the process in terms of you getting an answer and ultimately receiving payment.
Right. We cannot finalize any applications that don't have everything uploaded. We have to have all the documents. Okay. So moving on to COVID-19 impact, this program is designed to help people who were affected by COVID-19. So this section F is very important. We do have to have what your reason was that kind of caused you to get behind on your rent in the first place. That does have to be COVID-19 related. So you'll see that there are a lot of different things you can check. So basically you would just want to read through these and figure out which one applies to you. I'm going to just check that I've been laid off temporarily due to COVID-19. So that one's a pretty easy one, but you'll see there's a lot of choices. So you can also actually select other and then describe what your COVID-19 related situation was. We do need you to be very specific here. If you're explaining a job loss, an income loss, we want to know where did you lose the job from? When did it happen? What were the circumstances? Did the place close permanently, or can you go back? As specific as you can be, the better it is for the application. So just please be as specific as possible.
Are applicants able to select more than one reason?
Yes. Yep. You can select pretty much as many as you want.
Okay.
Yeah, you can definitely check as many as you want. And then again, it's going to ask you to upload verification. We really need verification for this. Again, this is one of the main criteria for the program. If you were terminated and have a letter from your job that shows that you were let go or terminated or laid off or the job closed or whatever the situation is, you could definitely upload that. If you became ill due to COVID, some people have uploaded proof of their positive results. If you're staying at home because you have kids that are doing e-learning and you have to stay with your children, you could upload something from the school system. showing that the kids are doing e-learning. I know the school sent out 1 million emails. So if you want to take screenshots of some of the emails and upload those, you can do that. If you couldn't go back to work because your child's daycare closed, any type of correspondence you got from the daycare, a letter from them, anything like that would do the trick as well. So basically, we're pretty flexible on the COVID reasoning because there's a lot of things that have happened over this past year to people. But you just have to be very specific and show us the documentation of what happened. So I am going to go ahead and upload something here again, just so it says that I've done it. I'm going to save. I'm going to complete and continue. Maybe. Oh, it told me I need a description. So like I mentioned before, if you forget something, it's going to tell you. I'm just writing something down quick. So I said that I lost my job due to COVID. The plant closed down. But the letter I uploaded proved that. So it was okay to have a short description. If your documentation that you're uploading is kind of not the best, again, the more detailed explanation that you can put in the boxes, the better. But again, moving on to rental assistance, or yes, the rental assistance. So this page is really important. This is where you're actually making your ask of us. So the first question, are you requesting rental assistance? If you want us to help you with your rent, you have to click the yes button. Don't skip it. Don't put no. You have to say yes, or we're not going to give you any assistance. A lot of people skip this question and then they can't get help. So make sure you answer it as a yes. Has your household received an eviction notice from your landlord? Again, yes or no. It doesn't have to be a yes. We're going to say no on that one. What is your current monthly rent? Again, a lot of people skip this box. Tell us how much your rent is per month. I'm going to say mine is $600. And then I'm going to say that I'm behind from November. I need November. I need December. I need January. And then in February, I started working again and started paying my own rent. So I just needed these 3 months of help to get caught up. For your information, we can go back 12 months. So if you were to owe from earlier in the year, you can put those amounts down. So you just fill out whatever it is you need. So for me, I'm just doing the 3 months as I mentioned. So I'm going to then go ahead and save that. So I'm requesting $1,800 in assistance. This is really important also. In order to do this, we need to know who your landlord is. So landlord, I'm going to say my landlord's name is Ed Jones. His phone number is 815. And now we need to know your landlord's email. So this might actually require people to talk to their landlords. If you don't know their email, call them and ask. And let them know you're applying for assistance. Because what's going to happen is once you do this application, the system is going to send them an email asking them to fill out a landlord portal. So really, you and your landlord have to work together on this. So go ahead and enter their email. I'll just enter this one. Whoops, it changed my number, but that's okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and save it again. Hit close, and then we're going to move on. So this program only pays rent. It does not pay mortgages. So if you do pay a mortgage, unfortunately, this will not assist you. But on the flip side of that, it does also help you with utilities if you need utility assistance. So the next screen that you come to is that utility assistance. So if you owe on your water or sewer bill, your gas, your electric, any of those, you can request assistance on those as well. I'm going to say no to both of these. I'm actually going to go ahead and say no to all of them. Actually, let me say yes. So one will open and you can see it. If you hit yes, a whole line of information will open up for you to fill out. If you leave it as no, that's all you have to do is hit the no's. But if you actually need help, it will open up a list of questions. You're going to choose what company it is. You're going to enter your account number, and then you're going to go down here just like I did on the rent and put how much you owe. So if you owed $50 for November, $50 for December, and $50 for January, that would be your request. Then when you get down here, you have to upload a copy of your utility bill. Again, we have to have verification of it. If we don't have verification, we can't do it. And then complete and continue. The next thing it's going to ask you is if you need help with your internet services. Now, this is a little bit limited on who gets approved for this section. You do have to have a child in e-learning or be able to show that you need your internet to work from home for this. We can't just approve anybody. There is kind of a set of rules on that one. So I'm going to say no, we don't need assistance on that. Complete and continue. The next section is prior assistance received. There's been a lot of other rental assistance available over the past year. So this is asking you if you've received any other sources of help in the last year. If the answer is yes to this, you do have to come down here and account for where you got that help. IDA had a program earlier, last year. So if you got help from IDA in November, you would put how much ever it was, $1,000, and you would put the source over here. But I'm actually going to leave this as no. So it makes things easier. But again, if you did get other assistance, you do have to account for it here. We're going to save and continue.
And reporting that you got other assistance over the last year doesn't necessarily disqualify you from getting assistance through this program. Is that correct?
No, it doesn't. You can still get more assistance. You just can't get double assistance for the same time period. So if you were assisted for your October, November, December rent, you can't request those months again. You could start requesting January, February, and March. You just can't get double assistance for the same time period. All right, so. Okay, the next section is required documents. Again, these are the things we need to continue processing your application. The first thing states it needs a rental agreement documentation that shows rental arrears. So there's actually two things here. The rental agreement, what we really want to see is your lease. If you have a lease, we would want that uploaded here. If your lease is 20 pages long, we don't need you to upload the whole thing. If you can upload the first page that has your name, the landlord's name, how much rent you pay, where you pay it to, all of that stuff, the front page and the back signature page, those are fine with us. We don't need all 20 pages of it. First and last pages with the signature are fine. The second thing is a valid ID for all household members over the age of 18. Anybody over 18 has to upload a copy of their driver's license. Now this can be, you can snap a picture on your phone and just upload that picture. That's fine. Or it can be a photocopy or however it's easiest for you to do it. We don't really care how you do it. As long as you can get it uploaded, it's fine with us. Most recent rent statement. Here we want a rent statement from your landlord that actually shows that you're behind the months that you're asking us for. Many landlords have electronic databases or places where they keep track of their tenants' rents. A printout of that is perfect. That's really what we're looking for. And the final one, it says click here for release of information. So when you click here, it's going to pop up a document. This is a release of information. And for some people, this is easy. You can print this off if you have a printer at home. You can then check the boxes and then sign it on the bottom. Some people have told us that they don't have the capability to print off things. They don't have a printer. They don't have a scanner, all of that stuff. Again, we're not really too worried about how you do this as long as you can make it work. So again, if you have a smartphone, you can actually take a screenshot of it if you take a screenshot of it and then you hit the markup function on your phone, you can scribble your initials on there, check the boxes, and that's fine. You can upload that. We're perfectly fine with that. If you don't know how to do that, you can always just type up something that says, I've read the release of information. I agree to release my information to these places. Sign and date it. You can do that as well. So however you can do it is fine with us as long as you get it done. So I'm actually going to come back out of there and go back over here. So I'm going to upload some documents. So it looks like we've done this. So you can see what it looks like. And then you're going to go to the bottom and again, you're going to complete and continue. And then this is the final tab. So this is your certifications. Applicant certifies that all the information in this applicant or in this application and all information furnished in support of this application is given for the purpose of obtaining funding under the program. You understand that providing false statements or representation concerning income, assets, or liability is a misdemeanor of the first degree, punishable by fines and imprisonment. You certify that the application information provided is true and complete. So read all of these closely, make sure that they are true and accurate. And if so, you will go ahead and check them off. You're granting permission. Again, that's like similar to the release of information. I accept all the certifications as true. So you're saying all of these are true. Check that box. And please review the IDA policy. Click here and you're going to see a policy. Go ahead and read through that. And then check the box off. And then once you've done all of that, you're going to click here to sign electronically. You are going to type your name in here. And then you're going to sign the document electronically. So you'll see you've authorized it. Your signature is going to be here. You're going to save. And complete and submit. So then it's going to tell you thank you for applying. Once you see all of these boxes or check marks, you'll see that it's complete and done. And at that point, your application has been submitted to us. Now, please remember that, as I mentioned before, your landlord will get an email. The landlord also has to do their side of the portal. Theirs is kind of similar to this, but a lot shorter. The landlords are required to upload proof that they own the building. They have to upload a W-9 form for tax purposes. And then they have to add in your information so that we can know that your landlord is your landlord. So then we link the two applications together and we can complete the processing of it. Anquinette, did I cover it all?
Yes, everyone can exhale now. Thank you so much, Angie, for walking us through that application. I think it's very important for folks to remember that communication with the landlord is critical. Have your own email address that you will be checking frequently, looking for correspondence from the staff working on this project, as well as make sure that you have your landlord's email address. I know in having some discussions with landlords, for a lot of people, some of the communication had really kind of broken down between tenants and the landlords, but it's very important for you to reach out and at least have this conversation so that your landlord knows that you are trying to get some assistance in order to, to pay off that debt and get out of arrears that you owe them. So it's very important to communicate with the landlord, have their information, and so that they know what's coming, they'll know how to respond to that email and provide that information into this software. I think it's also important for people to remember, it may be helpful to get all of that income information, everything that you just covered, Angie, all those documents, have them ready, waiting, uploaded, already have those screenshots taken on your phone or however you're going to save and upload those documents. It would definitely make that process smoother to have all of that in advance before starting the application and then being able to get through it. But thank you again, Angie, so much for walking through that. We hope this helps to make the process easier for those folks who are going to need to apply for round 2, or for folks who applied to round 1 and have not yet responded to their email requests for additional information. So make sure that you're checking your email, that you're responding and adding any additional information that's being requested of you from the system or from our staff. So again, thank you, and best of luck to everyone. And we're still just sticking together to make it through this pandemic. So thank you again, and thank you all for watching.